You're listening to Wanderlust Diaries, the ultimate travel podcast for solo female travellers 40 and beyond who are ready to explore the world. Join me, Terry Reynolds, where we talk all things travel and why it's so important and what's stopping you from getting out there and exploring the world. We'll discuss the steps you can take now to fix it, empowering you to ignite your curiosity and set your heart free so that you have the confidence to travel wherever you want, whenever you want. Offering insights, tips, hacks, and remarkable women's stories along the way. So come on, grab your passport, pack your sense of adventure, and get ready to be inspired. Whether you're a first-time solo traveller or a seasoned globetrotter, Wanderlust Diaries is your community of like-minded souls, uplifting and supporting women over 40 who dare to explore. Welcome to the podcast. Today's guest is the Jamillah Welch-Bercy, who is the CEO and travel advisor at Travel Groupie. She specialises in curating romantic getaways, bucket list travel and cruising. She is also a Jamaica specialist. With her expertise and dedication at Travel Groupie, Jamillah is dedicated to helping individuals create meaningful and unforgettable travel experiences. In addition to being a rock star travel advisor, she is also a certified wellness and lifestyle travel coach. She is a certified life coach who is passionate about inspiring and empowering women through transformative women wellness retreats. And I love that quote on your website. She believes in never giving up and always giving back. I mean, that I just love it. Well, we have many things to discuss. Your book to start with, My Walk Past Hell. I mean, what a title. Your businesses, your passion for giving back, which we'll talk more about later. Well, I don't know where to start. I'm like a kid in a sweet shop. So let's start at the beginning. Tell us a bit about you, where you are from and where you are now.
Thank you so much, Terry. Thank you. I'm excited to be here. So again, you gave me a great introduction. Thank you for that too. So like you said, my name is Jamillah, and I'm a passionate, avid traveler, and I'm a mom. I'm a dog fur mom. I'm a wife, and I'm just everything travel and everything about women empowerment.
Fantastic. That's a great start. A brilliant start. Okay, so and where are you now at the moment in the world?
I am in the world right now. I am in Medellin, Colombia.
Lovely.
And I have been here for quite some time now.
Okay. And where are you from originally?
Okay, I'm originally from Newark, New Jersey. And I was raised actually in Inglewood, California. So I'm kind of a East Coast, West Coast girl. But I kind of live everywhere now.
I love that. Like a digital nomad. I love it.
Yeah. I feel like I'm just from all over the world. I just try to immerse myself all over. So
yeah, well, we'll get more into
where I'm from at the moment.
I know, and we'll get more into that now as we go through it. So, like I said, there's lots and lots to discuss. So, for me, then, let's just take us back to So, I want the listeners to hear all of your story as well. Take us back to where it all started with your travel journey. So what is your why? Why did you start doing it? What made you take that first step?
Well, I guess my first step in love for my passion for travel started when I was probably about 10 years old. And my grandmother, her and my uncle, they took a trip to Nassau, Bahamas. And, we were not that fortunate to be able to take, those kind of trips back then. We did, go to the beach and local trips, but nothing as big as, going to Nassau. And when my grandmother came back, she bought us all these nice little trinkets, and they were like Nassau hats. And she showed us the picture in the water, even though growing up in California, I was used to being around the ocean, but seeing that crystal blue water in the Bahamas, it was just like, wow. And so I think that was my first spark for my love for travel, just through my grandmother and her trips.
Amazing. And you said you were 10 years old?
About 9 or 10, something like that. I just know I was small. Yeah. And because I had ended up taking my own kind of solo, but it was my sister and I, we were very young. We took a cross country trip by ourselves. So that was after that. So I just, and my parents, my father he loves to travel. He traveled across country so many times. So we just I have that passion, that bug for traveling. It's just in me.
So did you take that trip to your grandma's? Was that a regular occurrence? Was it, kind of every year, or was it often?
No, my grandmother, she lived in California. She was in California with us, but she was able, my grandmother was a nurse, so she had, a little bit more finances to work with.
Yeah.
So she was able to go and this trip. But when she came back, there was pictures and she bought us, souvenirs. And I just was in awe of it. And I just always knew, I was like, I want to go to the Bahamas. And I've been to the Bahamas now several times, but it was just,
lovely. Yes.
a place that I've always wanted to go just because of how blue the water was.
Oh, I can imagine. I know. It sounds absolutely beautiful. I've never been myself, so I'm sure it absolutely is. So, when you were adult age, then when you were able to actually go off and travel on your own, where was that first call in for you, and what made you take that first step?
Oh, well, when I was 12, like I said, I took a Greyhound, my sister and I, from California all the way to New Jersey. And we were by ourselves before cell phone, before internet, before all of the things that we have now. And that it was a journey. It was like a 3-night, 4-day journey for us, and just passing through the different states and seeing all the countryside and the trees. And I just fell in love at that point. But then in my adulthood, it was a trip to Mexico that one of my girlfriends planned. And she was like, "You want to go to Mexico?" And I went. And then from there, it was just like, I can't even remember.
Where can I go next? Yeah. I can't stop now. Where am I going next?
Always look. That's how I honestly got the name Travel Groupie, because I'm always like, my husband's like, every time we come from a trip, you're always like on the next trip. You're like a groupie for travel. And I'm like,
I love that. Is that where that came from? Yeah.
He's like, you're a groupie for travel. And I'm like, I am a groupie for travel. Like, I'm always searching for the next trip. So.
Yeah, that's a great description, though, isn't it? I was going to ask you about that, Travel Groupie, because that's such a cool name. So your love for travel then started at a young age, but your first kind of adult trip was down to Mexico. Was that, what were you doing there? Were you traveling around Mexico? Were you just in the one place?
We were in Cancun because it was a girl trip. So we were there, nice. Fun. And I think I was about 22, maybe 22 or 23. So, those good young days.
Yeah. I love it. Of course, I didn't do that. I didn't do traveling as a youngster. I was one of those that got married at 19, had a baby at 20, divorced at 22, 23, married again. Oh, honestly, I could go on.
You've lived.
Yeah, that's very true. That is very true. But my story's another story. So you did that. You did traveling. You traveled from a young age. So what made you then, from those traveling experiences, what made you decide to go into business?
It was in 2018, and my husband and I, we were getting married, and I planned my entire wedding to Jamaica. And I had a travel advisor at the time, and she was okay. She was good, but there were things that I'm like, I could do this. And I kind of actually talked to her about her journey. And she, kind of told me a little bit about her journey and how she got started. And then I started doing my research, and I'm like, I can do this. At first, I thought it was all glitz and glamour, like, oh, it's travel advisor. You get in free travel and all this, but it's
wow.
like that. But so that's where it was my wedding in Jamaica in 2018, and I'm like, I can do this. I can, and it was honestly, it was my guest from my wedding that made me decide that. There was people that came to my wedding that had never even been out the country. So there was people that got their passport for the first time.
Yeah.
And just some of the feedback that I got from the people at the wedding, they were just like, it was amazing. You did a great job. Like, and it was so beautiful. And I'm like, I want everybody to experience this. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
my reasoning for going into travel.
Yeah, so that was so it was basically then to help others how to travel, really.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My
Um,
family, I'm like the travel guru in my family. I'm like, when everybody has a question or they want to research something, I'm like, I love researching anything travel. Like, it doesn't seem like a job for me. It just seems fun, just learning about,
yeah.
places to go and restaurants and things like that. So I love it.
Yeah. And from all these travels, when you come back, were there kind of lessons that you learned? Were there things that, once you returned, you thought, well, I can never be the same person? I know for me, it happened, and I thought I can't go back to doing what I was doing originally before I left. So was there like a transformation where you thought, well, I'm back, I've done that, this has changed my mind, my mindset, I need to do something different. Did you have one of those kind of moments?
The funny thing, Terry, I have a lot of those moments.
Love it. Yeah.
So well, when I went on a yoga retreat,
Oh,
to
nice.
Mexico in Puerto Vallarta, and that was my first time ever doing. Well, I think I had done yoga like maybe once or twice at a studio, but nothing serious. And I went on a yoga retreat, and it was my first time ever going to Mexico and not partying. I had always been there to kind of party and drink and have a good time, And this time I was quiet. I did yoga, and they were like, "You've never done." People were shocked because a lot of the people there were like avid yogis,
Yeah.
and I just stepped out of my comfort zone and kind of just went there. And from that point, I promised myself I will always just kind of step out of my comfort zone and just try, new things, even if it's scary.
I know. And, coming to that, it is scary, isn't it? Getting out of your comfort zone. Because I was in a state of, eat, sleep, work, repeat. And it drove me absolutely insane because I was just so bored by it. And I thought I needed to do something so out there that I've never done before. I mean, when I went traveling, I'd never, I'd only been abroad once before, maybe a year before with a friend of mine. And so I knew I had to do something massive. Something was really calling me. But do you know what? I think, and you probably say the same, that it's scarier thinking about it than actually doing it.
You are absolutely right. Absolutely. And I think when we're older, it's scary. When we're younger, we kind of have this, I don't care, free. But when we're older, we're kind of cautious, and we know what's going on in the world more. So I think that makes it a little, more scary.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Being women.
Yes.
That.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think, when you're younger, we're invincible. We're just invincible, and nothing can, we're just going to live our life, and that's it, And when you're older and you've lived a bit of life, and you know what can happen and what's out there, it makes a massive difference. And I think that's why, any women who are listening to this, no matter what your age, if you think that, you can't do it because you're a certain age. Because I did, when I first went off, I was 39. But leading up to that, I was like 37, 38, and I was thinking and planning all this. And I'm thinking, now and again, I'd be like, well, who the hell do you think you are? You're not 19, 20 more anymore, my love. You're 39 years old. You've got a 19-year-old daughter. You've got responsibilities. You've got a job. Who do you think you are? And I think probably a lot of women in later life will think the same thing, that, who am I to go and do that? Did you have similar feelings to that?
Oh, goodness. So Yeah, I think once you reach a certain age for women, um, you start to think that you can't do certain things
Mm,
because of
mm,
your age. And I like to put a spin on it. I like to feel like because I am getting older, I want to do everything. Like
yes.
I want to experience more because now I understand and like I
Mm,
was saying before, now when I go to travel, I might not go out a little bit, but it's more of just culture, not partying. It's getting to know the
mm,
country that I'm in, getting to know the people, the food,
mm.
all that good stuff that comes along with, traveling. So, yeah.
And what do you, you talked about, like, I love it when I go to a new place. I mean, whether it's abroad or in my own country, I like to go to places where the locals eat, the
Yes.
locals go, not the touristy places, because I'm sure they're lovely, but I just like to, I like to be like a local myself. I like to immerse myself into whatever culture I'm living in at the time. Would you agree?
I absolutely agree. I feel like that there's no other way, and I don't feel like you can actually experience the country unless you do that. I mean, of course, yes, you want to see some of the tourist places because
Mm,
when I go, travel, I do, but just to go into a local place where it's locally owned and you
mm,
have, dinner or lunch there
mm.
and, you're learning about different people. It's an amazing experience. And I think that if you don't do it, you're missing out a ton.
Yeah.
Honestly, you're missing out.
I agree. And have you got, any kind of fail safe kind of tips or anything you could tell our listeners on how to embrace a new culture and to find out exactly what it is that makes that area tick?
So first, I would say before you go, you definitely want to do some research
Mm,
on the country that you're going to, especially if you're a woman and you're traveling solo. You definitely want to do a good, bit of research. Um, but I will also look at, different excursions. I
mm,
like to look at sometimes at Airbnb experiences because sometimes there are local people
mm.
there doing local excursions. So that way you can, you're inside of with the people from the community and you're doing the
Yes.
excursion and you're giving back to the people in the community because you're not giving back to big tourist companies. So I like to do that sometimes. But I would just say if you're going to a different country, just learn whatever the customs are, whatever the laws are. If it's a different country, say like right now I'm in Colombia,
Mm,
um, try to learn some Spanish, or if you're going to Italy, just learn
yes.
some basic phrases. At least, not like, I'm not saying try to learn a whole language, but at least some basic phrases to be able to communicate with the locals, because I think they really like that when you try to learn their language and get into their lives.
Yeah. No, I agree. I try to, even if it's just a few words,
Yeah.
I try to, even if it's just French, if it's merci for thank you or au revoir or bonjour, the basics, the basics. No, you're absolutely right. And I think they embrace you more, don't they?
They
If
do.
they can see that you're trying,
Yes.
they want to help you even more then, don't they? That's what I find anyway.
It's fun because I'm here. Sometimes I'm trying to speak Spanish and they'll laugh at me and somebody will
Yeah.
correct. So it's like, it's a fun thing. It's like, I feel like traveling is just, it could be school all over again. And it's just so many different things to learn and, and see. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think that would be my advice for, immersing yourself into the
That's
culture.
right, yes. And it is about research, isn't it? Research the area you're going to, research how you can dress, because some countries, they don't like women to
Yeah.
wear off the shoulder clothes or shorts, that type of thing. And
Yes.
just respect the country that you're in,
Yes.
and you'll have a much more pleasant experience.
Thing, please don't tell people, oh, well, they don't do it in my country like this or that. Like,
No.
nobody cares.
Yeah. No, you're
I
right.
see that sometimes, and
Yeah.
or you don't speak English, and
Mm.
don't do that to people when you're
Yeah.
in the country. Just
No,
try.
exactly.
And
Yeah. And there's no excuse these days, is there? You've got the internet. You've got the internet on your phone. It's mobile. You can carry it around.
load the Google Translate app offline so that you can use that even if you don't have internet.
Can
So
you
that
just, sorry, Jamillah, can you just say that again? I missed that bit then.
so Google Translate, you can
Oh, yes.
download the translator offline so that even if you're in a country and you don't have internet access, the app will still work if you're trying to communicate.
Oh, that's a fantastic tip. Thanks for that. I'm sure many of us will be grateful for that one. Brilliant. Okay. Yeah, thanks.
You can even take pictures of things and it'll tell you what it is. So it's really cool. So
like you could take a picture of a sign.
You could take a picture of a sign or like a picture of a water bottle.
Yeah.
and or a flower, and it can tell you the flower, and it's really cool. So, and you can use it even, like I said,
Oh,
with no internet. You just have to download it offline.
yeah. Great. That's a fantastic tip. I shall make sure all of these are in the show notes when I write them all up. Put these tips in because some of these are invaluable. And if you don't know about them, you don't know.
No, you do, yeah, and that's why research is always important.
Yeah.
When you're doing stuff.
No, it absolutely is. I mean, back in my day, I had to carry like the rough guides books around the world with me because I didn't have the internet. So that was my version of the internet, taking the hard copy books.
Now we have all these different resources, and now we have AI and everything. So
Gosh, I know it's crazy now. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. So look, you have written a book as well.
I was a co-author, yes, in an anthology book.
Tell me everything. Tell me everything about this book.
So my Walk Past Hell is an anthology of women, and they just talk about their different struggles and how they overcame their different struggles. And I just talked a little bit about my domestic violence and some things that I struggled with, when I was younger, teen pregnancy, domestic violence. I was a victim of gun violence. So just telling my story to be able to help women out there.
No, that's amazing. And did it take you long? You said you co-authored it?
Yes, there's about 30 women in the book, I believe.
Brilliant. Are they all telling their stories, are they?
Yeah. Telling their stories, and she was the head author, and we were all co-authors in the book, giving, a little piece of our lives to the world.
Was that must have been a truly amazing experience for those women to be able to tell their stories, because it must have been raw.
It was very raw. It was very healing for myself, and because it happened so long ago, I honestly did. I thought you think you're healed and you get through stuff, you go through life, and when I started writing it, I'm about to cry now.
Oh, bless you.
When I started writing it, I realized that I hadn't healed.
Yeah.
From some of the things in there, and it encouraged me. I went through therapy. Actually, it was a very therapeutic for me.
Cathartic. I can imagine it would be. Absolutely, yes. And I think that
other women in the book as well,
and
others that read the book. I'm sure there were some women that had struggles having children, and some other women, with careers, just all different struggles that women were, molested by family members. So it's really raw, but it's really, I think, can help you see what you can come out of,
Yes.
So.
It's about coming out the other side, isn't it? It's almost like, the phoenix rising from the ashes. And I'm sure that that book then has probably helped so many women.
I hope so. I know for sure a couple of people have reached out to me.
Great.
It's on Amazon. So if you want to go on Amazon, My Walk Past Hell.
Well, don't you worry. We'll have all your information in the show notes so they'll be able to find it all. Yes. That's.
hope it, even if it just encourages one, two,
Yeah.
that's good enough for me.
No, I get you on that. And it's that saying, if it just helps one person, to get through something.
And it helped me. So
Yeah.
just
No, it
writing
does
it.
though, doesn't it? Writing. It really does. It does help. I mean, I've probably got 2 or 3 books in me. And all different. Yeah. So I want, that's something I definitely want to do. And it's about getting your story out there. And like you said, if it can help others, like just, around travel, if I can help women to understand that just because you are of a certain age doesn't mean you can't do it, so just to help women like that, really.
With the podcast, just having it, I'm sure you will have some woman that's a listener, or maybe even a man, but that'll
Yes.
be encouraged and inspired, and they'll say, you know what, I'm 50, but I'm going to take that solo trip.
Yeah. No, I know. And that's what I hope for. Yes. And although I kind of aim this at women, obviously this goes for, and women kind of over 40, because that's what I can relate to. This goes out to everybody, really. Anybody who's got any struggle with trying to make that decision, or they want to do something, but they actually are a bit afraid, don't know how to take that first step. We're there for everybody. And so whoever we can help is great. And I hope to, as well, get some men on my podcast as well, because I'd love to hear from them, but that's something for the future.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I just love that. I loved the title straight away. It's a grabber, isn't it? As soon as I read it, I was like, I need to know more about this.
Yeah. I mean, it literally means what it says, literally walking past hell and getting
I
to.
know. I mean, absolutely, absolutely. And it sounds like a really, really interesting book to read. So I will check it out.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so I want to move on now to your passion for giving back. So I understand that you will soon launch 918 House of Love?
I actually did already. I have my
Oh,
nonprofit, I have my 401(c)(3), but I have not, honestly. I started that because I just really wanted to help, and I wanted to start a nonprofit, and I did. And then I realized my travel will not allow me to run a nonprofit the way I will need to be there to run a nonprofit. So I it's still in my mind. I still have all, the things, but I would rather have my travel and be able to do that and help women and still be able to give back to other nonprofits that are close to my heart, which would be like teenage homelessness, because that was something
yes.
I experienced. And I can do that and give part of my travel, like I'm going to implement soon, where I can give like a percentage of all of some certain commissions back to different nonprofit organizations in the area.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, fantastic.
I have this I love feeding the homeless. I love doing anything I can in the community to be able to give back, because I was unfortunate a lot of time in my life, and just being able to give back, it just makes my heart smile. So whatever I can do business wise to be able to give back, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, no, I get you on that one. Absolutely. Love that though. Love it. And I look forward to hearing more about it in the future. So
yeah,
yeah.
I will. And I actually have my 918 House of Love. It's in Texas, but it's just on pause right now. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm moving ahead with this travel stuff so hard. It's really hard for me to stay still in one place to be able to.
No, I get that. Yeah, it's still there though, isn't it? And what does, so 918 House of Love, what does that mean?
It's my birthday, 9/18, and
Oh, wow. Love
and
that.
just in my birthday is just love, and I just wanted to be able to show back love, people that are less fortunate or don't have.
Yeah. Oh, love it. Love that. Yes. And now the other thing I want to touch on is your other business. Now you do some building renovations as well. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, we kind of backed out of that. Right now I have a couple of properties in Detroit that we own and rent out. So we did we were like doing a bunch of stuff in the real estate market. So we had property, then we sold it, then we did a couple of flips, and now we're back into the residual income with just having some properties in Detroit. So I don't have a home, but I have a home for other people.
You are one busy lady, Jamillah. Honestly, now I couldn't keep up with you. Honestly, no. It's all fantastic.
My husband does that side of the business a lot so that I can focus on my travel side. So I get input and have my stuff here and there. So
he sounds like a good man that he's letting you, get on with your stuff.
We definitely have our real estate, but he definitely lets me, help me to be able to focus on my travel, because it's, that's where my passion lies.
No, I love it. Yeah, that's brilliant. Teamwork.
It makes the dream work every time.
Absolutely. My 6-year-old grandson, he was probably about 5, if not younger at the time, and he said that to me. So we're going back about 18 months ago, and we were doing something together, and he said to me, I think I said to him, "Oh, teamwork, high five." And he said, "Teamwork makes the dream work, Nanny." I'm like, oh God. Love it.
Cute.
I know. He's he's got me wrapped around his little finger.
It keeps you on your toes.
Oh, absolutely he does. And the older he's getting, the more on my toes I am. But I wouldn't have it any other way.
So honest, and that's what I think makes them when they're that age. They just stay, and they're so cute. Sometimes they're a little too much, but
I know. Oh God, yes. And the older he's getting, he forgets I'm a little bit older than him. Come on, Nanny, let's do this. Come on, let's do that. Like, yeah, okay.
He thinks he's the boss, huh?
Oh well, yeah. He can think it as long as he's not, but he thinks he is. But that's fine. Now, I remember asking you last time we spoke. I remember asking you about 3 countries or places that you visited that kind of may have surprised you. So let's go through those a second, if that's okay. Now, the first one on your list of 3 was Malaysia. So now, what surprised you about Malaysia?
Oh, just the infrastructure. It was like New York times 10, honestly. I don't know if you've ever been to New York, but if anybody knows New York, it's just big and lights and buildings, and it's just grand. And it was like 10 times New York. It was absolutely beautiful. They had the Petrola Twin Towers, and I was not expecting it to be so beautiful up front. It's so clean there. I didn't realize it was predominantly a Muslim country, and I was raised Muslim, so it was seeing all certain things that reminded me of my grandmother. Was really nice, and the food was really good. The food was really good. I wasn't expecting it to be bad, but I wasn't. It was really good. Like, we had really good food in Malaysia.
No, it's a lovely place. I went to where did you go? Did you go to Kuala Lumpur? Or?
Yes, we went to Kuala Lumpur, and we didn't get a chance. We did a few things there, but we didn't get a chance to go like anywhere else. but I mean,
Yeah.
there's to see just in that city alone.
Yeah, no, I know you're right. It's very clean. Everyone's so polite. It was just a pleasure to be there. The only thing I didn't find very pleasurable was the humidity.
Yeah, it was hot. It was hot.
Oof.
And the English, they spoke good English there too. That
Yes.
surprised me as well. So
Yes. No, they
yeah,
absolutely do. What I'm just trying to think now. I was there in what time of year was that? I think it was um might have been the end of November, beginning of December. It might have been around about that time. So the humidity was
really.
just, you walked outside and you had to go back in and have a shower and get changed.
Oh, I hate that when it's like that because you can't really enjoy yourself when it's
No,
that.
I know. You just
Pretty.
running from one air conditioning building to another air conditioned building. That's all you do.
They have a lot of beautiful buildings there.
They
That
do. They
you.
absolutely do. Yeah, no. So I've been to Malaysia as well. So yeah, I'm with you on that. And the next one on your list is Thailand. Now you said specifically, Karen Village.
Yes.
Why Karen Village?
Went there and I was so excited to go there, to learn about the women in this village. And when I got there, we were taking pictures and, it was very beautiful.
Mm.
And I didn't do a lot of research on Karen Village. And I found out some things later on about what was going on and how the women got there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not very sustainable and
Okay.
it's not very good.
Yeah.
So that was very shocking, and it's a lot of tourists go there, and I just don't think a lot of people know. And honestly, if I would have known what I know now, I would not have went.
Okay. Okay. So we go back to that thing again, don't we, of research,
Yeah.
making sure you research, you need to research things like safety.
Yes.
Your health and safety. How safe is it for women to travel in these countries? How safe is it for women to travel in those areas? How safe is it?
It was just not sustainable.
Yeah.
Women, they say that they can't leave out of the village. They're just there there was some war or something happening in, I think it's Burma or Burma. I'm not sure. I might be butchering the name, but the women came to Thailand to get away because they were going.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah.
And now they're in Thailand and it's a tourist attraction. And I don't know a whole lot about it, but the research that I have done and spoken to some people, it's not a place I would go back and visit.
Okay. Did you go anywhere else around Thailand?
Oh my gosh, Thailand is absolutely a beautiful country.
Yeah.
We stayed there for 2 months.
Oh, nice.
Stayed in 5 cities, I believe, there. And it's a beautiful country. The people are always smiling, always happy.
Yes.
The food is, we're talking about food.
Yes.
I'm a foodie, but
I think you just become a foodie though when you travel, don't you? You can't help it.
Probably some of the best.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And like I said, the people, they're always smiling and like giggling. So
very friendly. Yeah.
And I think they actually call it like the country of smiles or land of.
That's right. No, yes, you're right. It absolutely is. Yeah, everyone just smiles. And did you find it? How did you find it traveling around? From city to city. Were you okay with the traveling around?
It was actually pretty easy. Now, my husband was with me traveling, but there was a lot of times when he would work and I would be out by myself. I actually met 2 women that were traveling alone by themselves and on different occasions. So there's definitely women there traveling solo.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I would definitely recommend it for a place to travel for solo. If you're going, I did. Bangkok was probably maybe like a little New Yorkish, but
definitely.
But it still felt completely safe. I never felt unsafe.
No,
So
I loved it in Bangkok as well, you know, as well as the rest of the country. So yeah, I would agree with that. I would. Um,
I
okay.
like ability, so I like to try to travel, you know, sustainable.
Yeah, no, I agree. Absolutely agree. And the third one on your list is beautiful Colombia. So why does that hold such a place in your heart?
Oh my gosh. This is where my transformation magic um, happened. And
Oh,
yeah, this place, um, I learned a lot about myself here.
mm,
And just you hear things
mm,
um just like almost you hear things on the news and you
mm.
you I've always heard Colombia's bad, drugs and murders and
Yeah.
all of the things that
Mm.
we hear about or heard about Colombia, and they have that Narcos movie on Netflix or whatever.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I had in my mind.
Mm,
And when I got here, and then of course there are areas where
mm.
it's probably not the best to just go traveling around in,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
for the most part, it's such a vibrant city.
Mm.
Um, the culture, they have so much artwork. They've done so much to revitalize the community. Um, they have one area here, Comuna 13. It was like one of the worst like drug areas. And they've actually done like some urban social was it urban social urbanism that they've done, and where
Mm.
they created, like they call it the Medellin stairs, and they're electric stairs that connects hillsides to like neighborhoods, and it's
Ooh.
just so beautiful. And I mean, it's just a beautiful country, the mountains, and then you have Cartagena, the
Yeah.
beach. So it's just, it just wasn't what I was expecting. I
Yeah.
actually came here just to visit for 5 days, and I've been here for so long. So it's just been, I've been able to eat healthier here.
Yeah.
Um, it's so easy for me to just walk outside and get fruit from somebody standing outside for
Yeah.
cheap. I've lost like 20 pounds. Um, encouraged me to walk more. I see all these elderly people and they're walking up hills and they're getting on, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? So it's encouraged. It just has this special place in my heart, and I absolutely love
It sounds
Colombia.
like a fantastic way of living as well.
It is. It is. It's so good for mental, just everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I this place holds a very special place in my heart.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And you know what? I think that's a perfect place to end our podcast,
Oh,
talking about somewhere that you really love. And you
yeah.
could see it on your face, actually. When you started talking about Colombia, your whole face just lit up, and you could tell that, oh, bless you. Oh, I've made you cry a couple of times now. I do apologize.
I'm always crying.
That's not my intention.
Happy tears,
Oh,
because I
good.
such a transformation here. And yeah,
Oh,
it's been,
lovely. I mean, it's been absolutely fascinating talking to you. And I think I said to you before we started recording, I think I said to you, we're going to have another session because one just won't be enough. There's so much to talk about. And I think that's absolutely right. So, no, honestly, now on that note, thank you so much, Jamillah, for sharing your story. And just to let everybody know, all the links and information about Jamillah can be found in the show notes. So that's all for today's episode of Wanderlust Diaries. We hope you found it informative and helpful. I certainly did. And if you have any questions, feedback, or would like to be a guest, please feel free to reach out to us on our website or social media channels. All the details are in the show notes. And remember, age should never stop your pursuit of adventure, and the world is waiting for you to explore its wonders. Thanks, Jamillah.
thank you. I love that.
And that concludes this episode of Wanderlust Diaries, celebrating the fearless spirit of solo female travellers who are 40 and beyond. I hope you found inspiration, valuable insights, and a renewed sense of wanderlust. Thank you to all our incredible listeners who have joined us on this exciting journey. Remember, age should never stop your quest for adventure, because the world is waiting for you to explore its wonders. And don't forget to join our community on social media to connect with fellow travellers, and subscribe and review us on your favourite podcast platform. All links are in the show notes. Keep dreaming, keep exploring, and stay fearless. Until next time, this is Terry Reynolds signing off from Wanderlust Diaries. Psst, don't keep me a secret. Please tell your friends and fellow travellers.